So Tom, today we had this impeachment inquiry resolution, a vote in the House. Your reaction?
Well, in some ways it's more of the same, but on the other hand, it's a bad day for the Republic because it's not really an impeachment resolution, it's a coup resolution. It ratifies and endorses the abusive investigation by Schiff, that was corruptly formed for this shady leak to him that he lied about. It's being corruptly pursued. And there's nothing that much that's going to change there. He'll continue his secret hearings, his secret testimony that deprives the president of any meaningful input in terms of having his interests represented, the interests of the Constitution as president, and certainly his interests as a United States citizen. And so they're going to then concoct this impeachment inquiry before the Judiciary Committee, which may or may not be full-blown hearings. It could be just a rubber stamp. So there's nothing here to reassure the American people that fairness is here, that the rule of law is being protected, or that the Constitution is being upheld. So it's a bad day, but on the other hand, it's going to be more of the same in the sense nothing's going to change procedurally, practically speaking, in the House.
So, but people are saying this is supposed to open things up. That's what I heard being said.
Well, in theory, it could be opened up, but not just now. And it's all at the sufferance of the House majority, the Democrats.
Okay.
And in order to get subpoenas in the medium and long run, the Republicans are going to have to explain what they want to do and put all their cards on the table and then get the blessing of their Democratic colleagues, whose goal really is to impeach the president. I mean, I call it the Alice in Wonderland impeachment.
Okay.
They already have the verdict, and we're never really going to see the evidence because there's really no evidence justifying the radical approach that they're taking, which is to remove the president from office.
So you think they're basically just doing hearings and hunting for something that will be impeachable? No,
they have a pretext, which is the Ukrainian call, which was perfectly appropriate. So it's not a reason. It's
Sorry,
an
you mean appropriate?
Oh, I think the president has every right to ask the Ukrainians what went on and what's going on with the corruption that intersects with the United States interests here. You have to remember what Ukraine did. They leaked the infamous Black Ledger targeting Paul Manafort.
Right.
One of their top people wrote an op-ed attacking the president shortly before the election. They were colluding with the Democrats to provide dirt on President Trump. And don't believe me, Politico acknowledges that the Ukrainians were worried. Hey, we put our thumb on the scales on this election. We hope Trump isn't still mad at us. And but it wasn't about President Trump per se as a politician. It's about why is this government involved in this corruption that saw the Obama administration collude with the Ukrainians, collude with the Russians through Hillary Clinton. Who knows who else was involved? The United Kingdom, the Italians, the Australians, the Germans. So you had all that massive collusion, and the president's going to be impeached for asking questions about it before he authorizes a massive sale to Ukraine. By the way, a sale that the Obama administration would never have authorized. This is a core attack on our Constitution, and we have politicians of one party hijacking this awesome power of impeachment for illicit purposes. And so, the Republic's under attack.
Tom, maybe you can help us understand, how these rules work exactly. I understand that the House majority has every right to run impeachment whatever way they want based on the Constitution. That's what I've heard. I'd like you to kind of speak to that a little bit. But also, we've also heard that, House intelligence is involved, and what we've seen House intelligence is involved. That's very irregular, and also, it seems like under the current rules, the president isn't going to be allowed to have counsel with House Intelligence, maybe with Judiciary. It all gets very super complicated for the typical person who's watching the news or listening. Can you break this down for us a bit?
Look, the House Democrats are throwing lateral passes to get down the football field to the goal of impeachment, and that includes using the House Intelligence Committee in a way it's never been used before, which is to conduct an impeachment investigation of the president. And this isn't even a traditional standing committee of the House. The Judiciary Committee, for instance, would be the committee that you would have do the investigation. Instead, they've got the Intelligence Committee that is a select committee, meaning it's not necessarily a permanent committee of the
Right.
House doing this. So it's extraordinary, and it's never been done before. And it's a further indication of the irregular nature of the impeachment effort. It's not normal. And when something's not normal, it's usually not constitutional, at least in the full sense of the word. Look, I acknowledge impeachment's part of the Constitution, but it doesn't overpower the rest of the Constitution. It doesn't take away the president's due process rights. It can't take away the president's due process rights. It can't be used to decimate the executive branch. It can't be used to take classified information and just throw it into the public domain without regard to national security. Can't be used to justify illegal communications potentially between perhaps the leaker and Adam Schiff, the head of the House Intelligence Committee. So there's all this misconduct that impeachment's trying to kind of just power through, because it's all about getting President Trump. And I don't necessarily think it's all about getting President Trump in the sense that that's their key, that's one of the key motivations here. I think it's about protecting themselves, because as long as we're talking about coups or impeachment, as they want to say, we're not talking about the startling revelation in the last few weeks that the Justice Department has concluded that there's evidence of criminal activity in the spy targeting of President Trump and previously, obviously, candidate Trump. So, of course, the Democrats want to talk about impeaching Trump, because the Justice Department just figured out, oh, there's potentially crimes here in this massive corruption scandal that we know as Spygate.
I actually really want to explore this with you in just a second. Do you, in comparison to let's say the Clinton impeachment, right? Are you seeing a lot of differences?
Well, the impeachment of Bill Clinton was based on a report, a voluminous report, grand jury testimony made public through the report, witness interviews, document reviews, documents that were gathered, that were sent under a lawful process by Kenneth Starr. There was an independent counsel law at the time that required sending the material over to the Congress. So they were working off of material gathered under due process of law.
Okay.
Okay? None of that is here. None of that is here. I mean, even the Nixon impeachment kind of was contingent in many ways on getting access to grand jury information. And here they're just doing these Star Chamber-like procedures and proceedings in which reportedly Republicans can't even ask key questions.
Right, that's what we've heard.
The president has no say. And it's just an abomination unto the Constitution, this whole process. And that's why I call it a coup.